Okay, so let's solve the May June 2017 paper 4. This one we're going to start off with the Illustrator, that is the graphics part where they want to create a logo and they've given a design of the logo. So if we go through this task, you can see that it's for 10 marks. This logo should be of the size 200 pixels, width and height, and compressed file format they want to save it in. So it will be a JPEG file because it's going to be included in a website. So we will start by opening up Illustrator and let's go to a new file and give the size as 200 pixels by 200 pixels, and we can name it according to the name that has been given in this question paper. So we can put the center number and the candidate number according to the statement that has been given to you, statement of entry. Okay, so I'm going to leave the rest as it is and I'm going to create. I can also change the resolution, make it a little less, or you can leave it as it is. And let's create this file. Now if you take a look while it's loading, you can see that this entire screen, you have a rectangle over here and there's a gradient fill, another rectangle here with a gradient fill, and two circles with the text inside, and there's another gradient fill here. So I'm going to take a look at this document, and in my document I'm going to first view the rulers. So with this I can measure approximately around, I think, around 40 pixels. You can have one rectangle, another 40, you can have another rectangle. Okay, again another 40 pixels, another 40 pixels. So I think around here is one rectangle and around here you can have another rectangle. So we need to be able to create a gradient fill here and a gradient fill here. Now in order to help me to get a more accurate breakup, okay, so if I'm going to want to create one gradient fill here, I will just include a guide. Okay, so I'm going to double click on this line, include a guide, so I can give an accurate measurement. So you can just check whether guides have been turned on over here. So I've turned on smart guides from view. So from here to here I can say would be my one rectangle. So I'm just going to double click and create a guide here, and then I'm going to see. Okay, yes, I'm going to create another one here. This should be the size of my gradient fill. So I'll start now by creating the rectangle. So I'll go here to the rectangle tool, which is also shortcut N, select it, and right now the fill is with no fill. So I can give a fill over here. Okay, I can give a black fill or a white fill, and I can just create my rectangle over here. So the guides will help me to get the accurate measurement. So that is done. Now I can make a copy of this and bring it, again go back to my selection tool, which is V, and bring it over here. Now there is no stroke included, so I'm going to include a stroke for this. You can see that there is no stroke over here, so I'm going to put a stroke for this. Okay, I will put a black stroke of 1 point, and for this also I'll put a black stroke for around a point. Okay, now what I need to do is I need to put the gradient fill. So I'm going to select this. Okay, select this, and I'm going to add my gradient fill and change the orientation or the direction to -19. Okay, and then bring this, I'll bring the white more closer and the black this side. Okay, now let's take a look. So the gray, yes, this has worked out. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing over here. I've selected it, I've come to the fill, I've clicked on the fill, and I've selected the gradient. Now exactly the same thing has replicated over here. So with this I have created both my both my rectangles, and I have filled it with a gradient fill, and you can modify it according to requirement. Maybe a bit more is required over here. You can just modify it. So I'm done with my rectangle. Now what I need to do is I need to create the two circles over here. So if you take a look, the circle is just above the gradient fill and a little below this particular rectangle. So yes, I can go ahead and create the guides somewhere around here to get an accurate precision. And meanwhile, I'm also going to just go ahead and estimate and create my circles. So my ellipse tool, which is shortcut of L, I will use Shift, and then I'm going to draw, so it will give me an accurate shape around this much. Okay, so the fill has given me a gradient fill. I'm just going to change this to a white fill. Okay, so let me take a look. Alright, now I need one more circle inside this. I'm just going to delete off my guides now. Just right click and delete it off. I don't need these guides now. Just get rid of this one also. I think I can hide the guides. Yes. Okay, and again I'm going to select my ellipse tool, L, and click on Shift and create one more circle. I'm going to move this. Okay, let me do this again. Create my circle here. Okay, and I'll just move this up a bit. Let's take a look now. Okay, I think I can position it a bit down. Alright, now I need to create a text over here which is H with the gradient fill. So I will use my type tool. I'm going to select my type tool and click, and I'm going to type an H, and I'm going to increase this. I'm going to change this to an area. And increase the size to probably, let's take a look. Okay, let me select this again and change the size. I think 48 points should be good. Now let me reposition this and increase it a bit more. Okay. Alright. Now in order to create a gradient fill, I'm going to first go into my appearance panel and remove the fill. Just change the fill to no fill. Okay, let me select this again. I'm just going to select this again and change this to a no fill, and then put the fill back, and then let's try the gradient. Okay, now I need to change this gradient. Right, so I'm going to change this to minus 90, and let's make this more of a grayish stroke. Okay, and this 2 to a grayish 2. Alright, let's take a look. It's a bit more dark. Just make it a bit more dark. Yes, okay. And I'm going to bring the gray part a bit more, slide it a bit more. Okay. I'm going to just put this as a blackish gradient. Okay. This should be also a bit more lighter green. So this is done. Now I need to use a type on a toolpath to write Hungary at the top. So again I'm going to select this ellipse and I'm going to copy and paste this around the same position. Maybe slightly a little up. And I'm going to right click on my type tool and select type on a path tool and click on this particular path around this position. Let's reduce the size. I think around 28 points will do. And let's type the text Hungary. Okay, it's all in capital letters. Let's type it. Let's see the size. So it's starting around here with this line and ending around here. So I need to move it a bit more. So I'm going to use my selection tool and just rotate this a bit. Okay, now let's take a look. Right. Okay, now this needs to be exported in a suitable compressed file format to be included on our website. So it will be as a JPEG file. So I think I need a bit more spacing, so I'm just going to use my selection tool and move it a bit more. That's it. Okay, so I'm going to file export as a JPEG, okay, into your folder, and then you click on export and save it into your folder.